area. Crews were able to stop that source of the spill around 3 o'clock, and as Scott said, that has spread to 9 miles. We see folks behind us. We've got the volunteers and the crews, cleanup crews, dressed in their white suits. They've got the gloves on, they've got the special masks, picking up the oil up and down the beach.
Yeah, they're doing it by hand. You can see them pulling the bags out that are filled with oil. It is a mess out here. We have live team coverage for you. CJ and Paula are back in the studio, but first, let's go to John Palmentary with the latest information on the cause of this spill. John.
Some tough questions are being asked about the All-American Pipeline Company, especially after yesterday's leak Tuesday afternoon. And it was apparently detected by the public and the Santa Barbara County Fire Department before the line was shut down. For the first time, we've been able to see the site of the onshore pipeline break west of Refugio Beach and north of the freeway on private property. What's unknown is how much is in the soil, its exact direction from the ruptured area to the water, and when it happened. We've been told an inspection was done about 2 weeks ago.
There's no weakness in the pipeline. No, we have not been able to investigate exactly what caused the leak. It could be different things that cause it, third-party strikes or whatever, we just don't know at this point.
The pipeline company says the flow rate was 2,000 barrels an hour. The line went back in 1991, and it has never had a serious problem. The type of crude oil will also be chemically marked to help cleanup crews identify the source if it finds oil globs on local beaches in the weeks ahead. You might recall this pipeline has been in now for 24 years along this coastline, and the All-American Pipeline Company has not had any serious problems here, but it certainly did get a black mark yesterday. It says it bears full responsibility and is paying for all of the cleanup right now. But according to those who are on the beach and those who are observing what's going on, it's not just what's happening now, but also what's going to happen in the weeks and months ahead, not only offshore, but onshore with all the soil dirt that has to be removed. Reporting live along the Refugio coastline, I'm John Palmentary, News Channel 3 and KCO.
Okay, thank you for the update, John. And members of the Joint Information Center for the Refugio response effort calculated a worst-case scenario. They now estimate the ruptured pipeline may have dumped as much as 105,000 gallons of crude into the ocean, and that stretch of the Plains All-American Pipeline is 11 miles long. And the new number is based on the company's estimation of the line's elevation and flow rate, which averages more than 50,000 gallons of oil an hour.
And sadly, this spill is affecting fish and wildlife, and now 2 busy campgrounds at this time of year.
We're going to toss it to Tracy Lair, who's live at El Capitan State Beach with more on the closure there. Tracy.
I'm at El Cap, and it's very quiet here because this campground was just closed and evacuated. I'm holding a stick. I poked around just to show you the oil washing up on this part of the beach. And this is about 2.5 miles from Refugio. If you walk with me over this way, there's a cove that's part of El Cap that they say where it is really oily. And we'll try to show you that later at the 6 o'clock news. We'll try to get to it. It's a hike. But you can see the boom out there. You can see those boats out there. And right now, the park rangers are calling people with reservations, more than 100 of them, telling them that they can't come here for Memorial Day weekend, and they're refunding them between $30 and $55 a night. And here's why one ranger said people should care about this site.
Well, I like to tell people this is our Yellowstone off the beach. It is wild as it gets. We have whales every day off the shore. Plankton blooms. I mean, everything that you would see in a healthy, dynamic, wild ocean is right off the beach here.
Now, Ranger Roselle was just telling me that you might not see the problem at this point just yet, but this is what the kelp looks like. It is blacker than usual, and it does have a stench, that oily stench, and they're worried that there might be some wildlife that will wash up on shore here in the days to come. And for public health and safety reasons, they don't want people down here. They also are asking volunteers to stay away, at least for now. They want the pros to do the work, at least for now. Reporting live from El Capitan. And by the way, one more thing, I was told that they have about 40 spaces available over at Lake Kachuma, so if people act quickly, they could camp there. Reporting live at El Capitan, Tracy Lair, News Channel 3.
Thank you, Tracy. Well, members of the Joint Information Center for the Refugio Response Effort calculated a worst-case scenario, and they now estimate the ruptured pipeline may have dumped as much as 105,000 gallons of crude oil into the ocean. We are waiting to see how much exactly with that news conference coming up within the hour. Let's go live now to Victoria Sanchez, who is at Tucker's Grove in Santa Barbara, where the news conference is about to get away in the next 60 minutes. Tori.
That's right. We'll bring you that newscast, the news conference live within the next hour. I'm live at Tucker's Grove, which is where the first press conference happened earlier today, where we got those information, numbers about the amount of crude oil that spilled in the ocean, about how big the pipeline was. Now, it is not just the oil slick that's in the water that is the concern. Miles of coastline is now covered in oil. Dozens of cleanup crews fill trash bags with contaminated sand and seaweed. In just minutes, the bags start piling up. This is the easy part and just the beginning.
We have plans, obviously, to continue the cleanup of the rocky areas, the pebbles, and the outcrops.
The Coast Guard and the Environmental Protection Agency are leading the cleanup efforts and investigation because the oil is on the land and in the water.
The oil traveled down the canyon, underneath the culvert, and onto the beach.
Thick black oil is covering some of the rocks here at Refugio Beach, and the waves are washing up chunks of oil to the sand. And the smell, it's nauseating. Officials are keeping an eye on the shorelines, seabirds, marine mammals, and kelp beds. But with a 9-mile oil slick floating in the water, the environment is at risk. How long could this take?
It could take weeks. It could take weeks to remove the oil completely, but it could take upwards of years before the area is completely returned to its normal state.
Now, this is a federal, state, and local investigation and cleanup for the area near Refugio Beach, which is closed right now to campers, and anyone else is told to stay away from that area. We are going to be live here at 6 o'clock in the 6 o'clock hour with the press conference of the updates of any numbers and also the size of this oil spill right here on News Channel 3 and KCY 12 Central Coast News. Live at Tucker's Grove, Victoria Sanchez, let's send it back to you.
Okay, and for the latest on the currents and the tides impacting that oil spill area, let's turn things over to Chief Meteorologist Alan Rose in our First Alert Weather Center. Hi, Alan.
Hi, CJ. Yeah, a lot of things we're taking into consideration. The next thing we're keeping an eye on is the next high tide in this area. 11:59, so just before midnight. Not as high as last night, but still about 5.5 feet above mean sea level. And whenever you get the ebb and flow with the tides, it's going to push that very heavy crude oil back onto the beaches. So we'll keep that in mind late tonight and again tomorrow, 2 p.m., the next tide tomorrow afternoon. Now, I want to show you this graphic right here. This is ocean currents, and what we typically get across the western edge of the channel is winds coming, or the currents coming out of the west. Across the eastern edge, we get the currents coming from east, and where they converge in the middle, you get this eddy circulation. If you notice the arrows right here, they're pushing a little southwest, and the red colors mean some stronger currents. What this means with this eddy in the channel is that the currents will actually be pushing the oil a little farther offshore. So that's one factor we're also keeping an eye on. The other, of course, is the wind and the wave action. Tonight, winds are going to be strongest west-northwesterly 10 to 20 knots through about midnight, 1, 2 in the morning. Then the weekend by tomorrow morning, turning a little bit onshore. Waves and swell action both coming out of the west at about 1 to 3 feet. And for tomorrow, winds expected to pick up again out of the west and northwest, 10 to 20 knots, waves and swells remaining small. So that's some good news there. Not a lot of turbulence and chop being generated by the ocean, at least at this point. Now, Jason Stiff joins us a little later in the newscast. He'll talk more about onshore winds out there across the land areas and your Memorial Day weekend forecast. Back to you.
Alan, thank you. Let's go back outside now and show you a live picture of Refugio Beach. That's the scene.
And we will have more team coverage on this coastal crisis ahead, live from KCOY 12 Central Coast News and KEYT News Channel 3.
News Channel 3 Thursday. As chaos fills the streets of Isla Vista, this first responder suffers his own crisis.
I'm just glad I was there and that I could help.
And if it wasn't for a paramedic who immediately came to his aid, he would have died.
I'm so glad to see you.
Now, we have their first reunion since that tragic night.
It's a debt on their bill. Okay.
News Channel 3 Sharon Rajay shares their story for the first time. Thursday at 6 and 11.
Sam here at Rio Vista Chevrolet. This May be the month for your new Chevy. At Rio Vista, we're taking 15% or more off of several new Chevy vehicles just for you. Save $6,000 on this 2015 Equinox, or take $8,000 off this 2015 Impala. And finally, get this brand new 2015 Sonic for under $13,000. Check out all the deals here on the lot in Buellton or visit us at riovista.com. Rio Vista Chevrolet, we are your dealership.
For gorgeous kitchens and beautiful bathrooms, bring new beauty and style to your home with Granite Transformations. Granite Transformations countertops fit right over your old countertops, so there's no demolition, no mess, and can usually be installed in as little as 1 day. Plus, now Granite Transformations offers cabinet refacing. Great quality, great styles, and the best value around. Call or visit your local Granite Transformation showroom today and see how fast, easy, and affordable it is to bring new beauty to your home.
This week, Made in America is back. David Muir takes us deep into the Mojave Desert, the new space race, the vehicle that could soon give everyday Americans a rocket ride into space, and the astronauts who will share the view. This week, only on World News Tonight with David Muir.
Welcome back to this special edition, a joint edition of KEYT News Channel 3 and KCOI News Channel 12. You are looking, let's go back out to Refugio Beach, which in some parts look a little like a blackened sea due to Tuesday's oil spill. The state beach closed indefinitely. That's the sad part. There's an overview of the scene. Now, the pipe burst just before noon yesterday, just north side of 101, to give you some perspective. About a quarter mile from the freeway, crews were able to stop the source of the spill right around 3 o'clock.
But by then, much of the damage was already done. News Channel 3 Senator Ray De Los Santos joins us live. And Senator Ray, volunteers are stepping in and organizing their own cleanup.
Well, CJ, hazmat crews didn't get on shore until this afternoon. But before that, it was local volunteers who spent their morning doing what they could to clean up the mess.
It feels pretty hopeless. There's nobody here. There's no help. There's no supplies. The smell is getting us sick.
Fumes of spilled gasoline fill the shores of Refugio State Beach. What is usually a sight for surfers riding blue crashing waves is now black globs of oil. They were told to stay away, but a handful of local volunteers took it upon themselves to spend their morning buying supplies to help clean up the mess.
To be perfectly honest, am I professionally trained in oil cleanup? No. Is anybody else out there that's trained in it? I don't think so. So we were all just kind of doing the best we could with resources that we had.
Locals were disturbed that cleanup crews weren't sent sooner.
We need more buckets.
Christina Guerrero from Ventura pulled her daughter from school for the day to see if they could rescue any wildlife.
Nothing. It's too late. Everything that we found is already dead, deceased. There's nothing. So we decided to grab a shovel and start moving some of this oil.
Volunteers shoveled oil out of sea and off the sand and into buckets donated by Home Depot.
It was devastating. It was heartbreaking that there was nobody here to help. There's nothing. And we've been here all morning. These guys are my heroes. They've been breaking their backs trying to get this oil off the beach.
Authorities trying to keep the public off the beach because oil is considered hazardous.
This is toxic material and we want people to stay off the beaches. We're not actively arresting anyone, but we really want the public to cooperate.
So they told us to call a number to have a volunteer release. We called that number and they said they weren't accepting any volunteers right now. We all decided collectively that it was worth a parking ticket or our cars being towed.
Caltrans is moving or not allowing us to park here. They said we'd get tickets. I said, go right ahead, but we weren't leaving. We're here to help.
Well, obviously there are health concerns for volunteers, those that you saw out there cleaning that 9-mile stretch of shoreline.
And there are other concerns as well, whether you live near the site or just stop by to check it out. News Channel 3's Beth Farnsworth joins us live with that part of the story. And Beth, just breathing in the fumes can make some people sick.
I think
TJ and Paula, you know, health officials are monitoring for 3 basic levels of exposure. One would be the inhalation, the breathing. The other would be skin contact or eating contaminated seafood. And just to clarify that some people might be more sensitive than others, and just because we're smelling it doesn't mean that you're going to be sick. A tunnel trek just minutes from Aurelia Ranch leads to what is now a damaged paradise coated with oil.
Yesterday, my eyes were burning. I had nausea. Mark had a serious headache. My sister, who's visiting from Michigan, had an asthma attack.
It was probably 2 hours after I initially smelled the crude.
A bad headache?
It got very bad.
The 300-acre ranch has been in the Totrum family since the 1800s. The pipeline that burst runs beneath their property, marked by company warning signs. Now, taking in the fresh ocean air from their small stretch of beach means taking a toxic breath.
People that have exposure to the fumes can get various symptoms like headaches or nausea, vomiting. There can be, in high instances of exposure, confusion or lethargy.
Contact with skin can lead to irritation or rash, and eating contaminated fish will lead to long-term problems. So a fishing ban is now in place. And it's not just humans. Even dogs and other animals can be impacted. In the meantime, locals are hoping for shifting winds and a quick response by Plains All-American.
We hope that the oil company will step up and do the right thing and really clean this up.
And Dr. Water with Santa Barbara County Public Health says that they have monitors up and down the coast every quarter mile or so. And if you look behind me, you see this gentleman wearing this white jumpsuit. These guys with these crews doing the oil cleanup are wearing monitors on their person as well. So if by chance you're in an area where you are feeling nauseated or sick from the fumes, you're asked to leave the area. And of course, the shifting wind also helping. Back to you.
Well, fortunately, with this dangerous oil spill, we have had relatively quiet weather around the region. Looking outside live at Santa Ynez, a lot of sunshine. I'll give you more details about the weather expecting. Also, your Memorial Day forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
The technology changes. The design evolves. The engineering advances. But the passion to drive a Mercedes-Benz is something that is common to every generation of enthusiast. The 2015 Dream Machines from Mercedes-Benz. Today's icons, tomorrow's legends. Visit the Dream Machine event today for up to $3,500 towards purchase.
Looking to upgrade your ride? Breaker Stereo is the place for all of your car audio needs. Top-of-the-line major brands, Alpine, Kenwood, Memphis Car, and JL Audio, all in stock. Multimedia in-dash units, iPod adapters, Bluetooth, and lifetime warranty on all installations. Get the latest car technology with backup cams, blind spot, and early collision detection. You don't need a new car to have new car features. With 2 convenient locations and 40 years of experience, Breaker Stereo is the place for you. Breakers, the car stereo store where you just charge it.
Here in the Goleta Valley, we know the importance of water conservation, but we can't control the weather. As we enter a 4th year of historic drought, a Stage 3 water shortage emergency has been declared. The district's priority is to provide water for public health and safety and emergency situations. It is crucial that water remains available for hospitals and healthcare facilities, fire departments, schools, and essential public use. Now is the time to save every last drop. Let's save water together. Our community's well-being depends on it. Learn more at goletawater.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Byrne. Santa Maria Nissan has a big sale planned for May. It's not just big, it's monstrous. We have 0% financing for 72 months on 7 different models. Plus, no pay for 90 days on every Nissan in stock. That 0% deal includes the hot 2015 Altima with an extra $1,000 cash, or get a 36-month lease for a low $129 a month. You don't want to miss these deals. Buy where your friends buy at Santa Maria Nissan.
A good Wednesday evening with this dangerous oil spill just offshore. Fortunately, we have not had very stormy weather. We're still expecting fairly consistent wind overnight tonight and tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, the wind again, mainly offshore, 10 to 20 miles an hour, pushing that a little bit further offshore as well. Fortunately, no big storms right now. High temperatures today were certainly comfortable for this time of year, mainly 60s and 70s. It was 73 in Paso Robles, 76 in Santa Barbara, and 68 degrees in Santa Maria, and still fairly mild at this hour at 68 in Paso Robles, 63 in Lompoc, 65 in Oxnard, and 72 degrees in Santa Barbara. It has been a breezy to locally windy afternoon yet again, especially on the central coast, with a lot of wind between 10 and 20 miles an hour. Fortunately, at Gaviota, near that oil spill, not very strong right now, but we have had sustained wind of 14 to 15 miles an hour in Lompoc and Santa Ynez, and currently both areas have wind gusts of 22 miles an hour. Areas of rain pushing through the Ohio River Valley all the way down into Mississippi and Alabama. A few areas of rain showers and thunderstorms there as well, and the same area of the Intermountain West getting more areas of rain, a little bit of high elevation snow, but not for the central coast. We are keeping our eye, though, on this next area of low pressure. This is our next weather maker, just reinforcing this large trough in place over the west coast, and it's not going to be releasing its grip on our weather anytime soon. As it does, it's going to push more of the marine layer back on shore, trying to get some rain showers over the higher elevations well out to our east and our northeast, but not much for us yet. Now, as we look at futurecasts, we do expect increasing clouds tonight. A little bit of patchy drizzle again possible tonight when we join you at 11 o'clock, and again tomorrow morning, mainly for the central coast. Not so much for the south coast, but certainly possible. We'll take a little bit. We certainly need the wet weather. A lot more wet weather, though, south of Bakersfield, well to our east. On Friday, still a lot of clouds for us. Also more patchy drizzle, but most areas, unfortunately, will not receive any good amounts of measurable rain. So here's your forecast for tonight. Overnight lows averaging right around 55 degrees for the south coast, mid to upper 60s for highs tomorrow, 68 degrees for Santa Barbara. Areas around Santa Maria, a low of 53 and a high of 65 with some patchy drizzle, but not much rain. We certainly did it. We've barely had over 2 inches of rain in Santa Maria all year, and we're not going to be adding to it. For Paso Robles, a high tomorrow of 68 degrees, 63 in San Luis Obispo, and for Ventura County, also a lot of clouds, patchy drizzle possibility with mid to upper 60s for highs on your Thursday. The next 7 days, we do expect most of the clouds tomorrow and Friday. For this upcoming Memorial Day weekend, a little bit of a warming trend, just above average. For Santa Maria, highs climbing into the lower 70s, and for Santa Barbara, upper 60s tomorrow, then 70s after that. Mid to upper 70s for your holiday, up to 75 degrees, 78 degrees with more sunshine next Wednesday. And for San Luis Obispo, a lot of clouds tomorrow and Friday. Fewer clouds for your holiday weekend with highs in the 70s. Let's look at your weather on this Wednesday evening. We'll be back with more coverage after this.
My husband and I were choosing the Southern California Reproductive Center because the atmosphere was so sweet. Everybody was so truly caring and made us feel comfortable from the very first moment.
Helping couples experience the joy of parenthood. With a full-service surgery center and a state-of-the-art embryology lab, our team of doctors offers unparalleled service and care. Start your journey today at the Southern California Reproductive Center in Santa Barbara. To learn more, visit healthconnections@KEYT.com.
Meet Kyle. You name it. Dust, pollen,
and pet dander.
He's allergic to it.
Stanley Steamer is the first carpet cleaning service to be certified asthma and allergy friendly, eliminating an average of 94% of common household allergens like dust, pollen, and pet dander for a cleaner, healthier home.
Goodbye, Mr. Steamer.
Bye, Kyle.
Call now about our $99 carpet cleaning special.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer, your certified cleaner.
If you're sleeping on a bed that's giving you the blues, come to Sit and Sleep today for your summertime snooze.
Get your summertime snooze during Sit and Sleep's Memorial Sale. Save up to 50% off Beauty Rest, Sealy, and Serta. Normally $19.99, now just $9.99. Queen size sets normally $9.99, just $6.99. Plus save big on Tempur-Pedic and get interest-free financing for 36 months.
Come to Sit and Sleep today for your summertime snooze.
Sit and Sleep will beat anyone's advertised price, or your mattress is free.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
Central Coast Honda's Memorial Day Race to Save is on. Race in now for supercharged savings. $149 a month on Civic, a Kelley Blue Book Best Buy. $199 on Accord, a Car and Driver 10 Best a record 29 times. From Honda, Kelley Blue Book's best overall brand, 3 years running. But you better step on it. Our Race to Save event ends Memorial Day. So see your Central Coast Honda dealer now.
When you travel with AAA, you get more than a vacation. You get exclusive AAA member benefits, special offers on unforgettable experiences, and the travel planning knowledge of your own AAA travel agent. When you travel with AAA, you get the vacation of your dreams. To save on a pleasant holidays vacation, call 888-345-9954 or visit your local AAA travel agent today.
And now for the latest on the coastal crisis. All of this started just after 11 a.m. Tuesday. The pipeline ruptured on the north side of Highway 101, about a quarter mile from the freeway. It then crossed under the 101, coming out of a culvert that dumped right into Refugio Beach. The pipeline has since been capped, so the oil was stopped last night. Now, the company that owns and operates the line is Plains All American. It does not have an exact amount about how much oil it spilled. A worst-case scenario is more than 100,000 gallons, but the official estimate right now remains at 21,000 gallons.
And we are learning more about Houston-based Plains All American Pipeline and its long history of oil spills. In October 2003, one of its pipelines burst, spilling about 15,000 gallons of oil into Sandy Creek Wildlife Area in Mississippi. Then between June 2004 and September 2007, the company had 10 crude oil spills in 4 Midwest states. More than 273,000 gallons of oil spilled in those cases, some of it into rivers and lakes. The company ended up paying more than $3 million in federal penalties for those spills. In April 2011, 1.2 million gallons of crude oil spilled into the marshlands and the Peace River in Alberta, Canada. It is still considered one of the largest oil disasters in that part of Canada. In March 2012, a Plains pipeline burst, sending 8,400 gallons of crude oil into a bay near New Orleans. 3 months later, in June 2012, 462,000 gallons of oil spilled into Alberta's Red Deer River. The company paid $1.3 million for that one. That was a fine. And then this 19,000-gallon oil spill in Atwater Village near Los Angeles. We showed you this yesterday. It happened almost 1 year to the day from our spill here off the Gaviota coast. Now, our investigation did find other spills, but these are some of the bigger ones associated with Plains All American that impacted sensitive habitats.
And CJ, I know you've been studying a lot about this company in particular. Is this a high amount, or is this typical of an oil company?
Well, some of those are really big, like the one we talked about, the 1.3 million gallons, but there were a lot of small ones. We had a small one in Texas that I found that I think it turned out to be about 500 gallons of crude oil. But the problem was it flowed into a family's house. It was in their yard and that kind of thing. So there's some smaller ones. This one is about moderate.
All right, we'll be right back. Let's take you out live to Refugio Beach. Our coverage continues.
Colton's a happy baby. He smiles a lot. He laughs a lot.
Colton has been fighting his entire life. He started out almost in the palm of your hand.
He was immediately rushed to the NICU. Was on a ventilator for about 7 weeks and spent 107 days in the Cottage Hospital neonatal intensive care unit.
The fundamental thing to understand about a baby like Colton is that they're not abnormal. They're not finished.
There's our boy, and he's fighting for his life, so we had to just focus on him.
It is a privilege to be involved in the care of someone's child, and we never forget it.
When I was in the hospital, that's all I hoped for. I hoped for a healthy, happy baby, and I really believe I got